Okay, so good morning.
Good
Good
morning, ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
Good
Yeah,
morning,
so
ma'am.
we have already started this chapter a little bit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
About what is excretion,
So,
then this process how this nitrogenous waste it is formed, then
Yes, ma'am.
ammonotalism, this type of nitrogenous waste is done. Then
Waste.
we learn
Yes.
about how
I'm
ammonotalism,
an tourism.
the
Mm.
oxidative deamination, and the properties of ammonia examples, right? Here it is done. So today we will learn about the next type that is urea. Sorry, urea. Second type of nitrogenous waste is urea. So the we have already discussed that the process of excretion of urea it is known as ureotelism. Process of excretion of urea is known as ureotelism, and the organisms which excrete urea are known as ureotelic. This is the chemical. This is the formula for urea. Okay, you can just write it. This is the formula for urea. So, ureotelism it is the process of excretion of urea. So urea is the second type of nitrogenous waste. Now, ammonotalism we have already discussed. Ammonotalism is the process of excretion of ammonia, and ammoniotelic are the organisms which excrete ammonia. Right, and ammonia it is the most toxic nitrogenous waste. Right, but what means this now we will look at the advantages. Means advantages of excreting urea over ammonia. Okay, advantages of excreting urea over ammonia. So what are the okay? Everyone, just give your attendance in the chat box. Okay, with your departments and roll number.
given
Okay, okay. Just give it only once. Okay, several times if you give, it is a little bit confusing for me. Just once, give it once. Okay, so ammonia it is the most toxic. Here about urea is there. Uh, okay. So urea is little bit less toxic as compared to ammonia. Ammonia was the highly toxic, most toxic, but urea it is little bit less toxic than ammonia. How much time less toxic? It is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia. 1 lakh times is very high. It is not like one or two or 10 times less toxic. It is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia. Urea it is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia. What is the benefit of that? We have discussed in the case of ammonia that ammonia, as soon as it is formed, it has to be eliminated, right? As soon as ammonia is formed, it has to be eliminated. But since urea is less toxic than ammonia, it is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia. Therefore, it can be stored in the body for a longer period of time. Okay. Since ammonia is less toxic, means since urea means 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia, therefore it can be stored in the body for a longer period of time. You don't need to means excrete it in as soon as it is formed. Okay, that is the reason why I have given examples of ureotelic organisms. Right, it is human. Right, okay.
মানে পঢ়া শুনা কৰা আকৌ কুকুৰ ভচৰিবালে পঢ়িব লগা বুলি ভিডিঅ' চাই আছ পুত্তে
What happened? This Kalyan Hazarika, are you aware that you are in you are attending an online class? Kalyan Hazarika, you just leave the meeting and go. Leave it, leave, or else I'm going to remove you. And you are not going to get the attendance. CR just message this boy's number, roll number to me. Okay, this Kalyan Hazarika, whoever is the CR, whoever knows about this Kalyan, I can find out from the list of students, but then just try to find out the roll number of the student and department and just send it to me over message in WhatsApp. Okay, and I'm going to remove this person, whoever it is. This is not acceptable. What type of language? And you are aware that you are in the online class, attending online class. Just send whoever knows the roll number of this person, just send it to me over message after the class is over. I was in a very good mood, but first of all, when I keep teaching, no, this type of behavior is very, very much not acceptable, and I get distracted. Okay, so since urea it is less toxic than ammonia, it can be stored in the body for longer period of time. Okay, and it requires less amount of water for elimination. See, earlier I gave an example, right? That human beings, like it can be stored in the body for longer period of time. That I am going to give you an example. That is human beings. Human this urea elimination is through urine, right? Through urination. So beings don't tend to go to the go for urination each and every minute, right? You for say for like you go for the urination like four maximum of 4 or 5 times a day, right? Which means it can be stored in the body for long. In our body, urea formation is means it is non-stop. Okay, but we don't go for urination every minute, right? That is the reason. That is the thing that we can store the urea that is formed in our body. We can store it for longer period of time without it causing any harm to our body. Okay, so that is the example. And then there is the next is that it requires less amount of water for elimination. Uh, Earlier, we just put your mobile to silent mode. Earlier, we discussed that elimination of ammonia, how much water it requires. How much water it requires for elimination of ammonia?
50 millimeter.
No,
50
ammonia.
mm.
Ammonia. Ammonia. This is urea, no? For ammonia, how much?
300 to 500 ml.
Yes, 300 to 500 ml means half liter, right? Almost half liter. So that amount is pretty much high than this 50 ml, right? So earlier we discussed that ammonotelic organisms are organisms mostly aquatic organisms. Why aquatic organisms? Because they can afford to lose so much of water. That is like for 1 gram, half liter. But other terrestrial organisms and other organisms, they cannot afford to lose that much of water. Therefore, they had to convert ammonia into something less toxic, so that they can eliminate it with the help of little amount of water. So here is here those organisms, those terrestrial organisms which cannot afford to lose water for extraction of ammonia, so they convert ammonia into urea. Because urea excretion, it requires less amount of water. There was 500 ml there, 300 to 500. Now it is 50 ml for 1 gram. Okay. First point is that it is less toxic than ammonia, and not 1 or 2 times. It is 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia, which means it is much less toxic than ammonia, and therefore it can be stored in the body for longer period of time. And the second important thing is that it requires less water for elimination. For example, the 1 gram of ammonia, 1 gram of urea, it will require only 50 ml of water.
ml.
So now, urea synthesis. Ammonia, how it is synthesized? All of you know, ammonia is synthesized by oxidative deamination of amino acids, right? Amino acids which are not required in our body, they undergo deamination, which means the amino group from the amino acid is separated, and the amino group they will take up one hydrogen and will form ammonia. But in the case of ureotelic organisms, what happens? Initial step, the first step is formation of ammonia only in every type of organism, in all the organisms, whether it is ureotelic, whether it is uricotelic, whether it is ammonotelic, everywhere ammonia formation is the first step. Okay, but the difference is that in ammonotelic organisms, ammonia is eliminated as soon as it is formed. But in the case of ureotelic and uricotelic organisms, ammonia, as soon as it is formed, it is converted into something that is less toxic. Okay, so in case of ureotelic organisms also, ammonia is formed, then ammonia is converted into urea. Okay, ammonia is formed, then ammonia is converted into urea, which is less toxic. Okay, so the process by which, or the cycle by which ammonia is converted into urea, means production of urea, the cycle is known as urea cycle. Okay, in urea cycle, the synthesis of urea takes place. Okay, so remember the cycle, urea cycle, or also known as ornithine cycle. Okay, the cycle by which ammonia, it converts into urea, and urea production takes place. That conversion, that cycle, that process, it is known as urea cycle or ornithine cycle. Okay. So synthesis of urea means urea production, it takes place in the liver, means liver, and in case of higher organisms like human beings, here you can see, and in fishes and all, it takes place everywhere in the body. Fishes means all those mammals kind of fishes, cartilaginous fishes. You will get the examples later. Okay, so what happens in the ureotelic organisms? Ammonia is formed by the oxidative deamination. Ammonia is formed, like as usual, ammonia is formed. Then what happens? Ammonia is converted into urea through urea cycle or ornithine cycle. Okay, and synthesis of urea, it takes place generally in the liver. So what happens? The overall reaction is here, written here. It is ammonia, it reacts with carbon dioxide. Ammonia, it reacts with carbon dioxide and forms urea. This is urea, formula for urea. Earlier we have seen this one, NH2, 2 and CO. 2NH2, then CO. So ammonia, it reacts with carbon dioxide and then it forms urea and water. Okay, so this is the formation of urea, and this is how urea is formed in our body. About this details about urea cycle and ornithine cycle, you don't need now. Okay, you will get about details about these cycles in like third semester, I guess, third or second semester in biochemistry. There will be a separate paper about all this biochemistry stuff. Now, examples of ureotelic organisms. Human beings already discussed, terrestrial organisms generally. So, human beings and desert mammals, all these are terrestrial organisms, right? Camels, kangaroo, rats, everything. So, these are there, human beings are there, another cats and dogs, everything are there. Then there is aquatic mammals, exception, mammals, because they are mammals. Even though they live in the water, they are mammals, like whales and seals. Then there are some exceptions. These are cartilaginous fishes like sharks, rays, and squids. Okay, even though this and this live in the water, they show uretelism. Okay, but others, all the terrestrial organisms show uretelism. But even though this both are aquatic, this whales and this cartilaginous fishes, they show ureterism. So examples are basically you can choose anything from here and right. Okay, human beings are there, then other terrestrial organisms whichever is there. Then there are desert mammals like camels, kangaroos, and then there are aquatic mammals. Those are whales and seals, since they are mammals, and there are cartilaginous species. Okay, so ureotelism, it is the process by which urea is excreted, and then organisms are known as ureotelic, and urea, it is less toxic as compared to ammonia, and it is pretty much less toxic. Means it is like less toxic, and then therefore it can be stored in the body for longer period of time, and it requires less amount of water for elimination. That is 50 ml for 1 gram, and in the uretilic organisms also initially ammonia is formed, but then it is converted into urea by ornithine cycle or urea cycle. And the synthesis of urea, it takes place in the liver. And this is the chemical reaction, that is ammonia, it reacts with carbon dioxide and forms urea. Okay, examples are this one. Okay, this is all about uretilic organisms. So most important is the ammonotelic. Actually, if you remember ammonotelism, you will remember the others that way only, because the little bit tough is the deamination process, but others it is means relatively it is simple and it is easy. And if you like understand everything, and it is not necessary that you will require to like what to say. Write everything, even if there are on offline exam, it is not necessary to write whatever note I will give line by line. Okay, it is not necessary. You can write line by line, no worries in that, but it is not necessary to copy everything I give. You can make your own sentences, and you can write. If your English is good, English is acceptable, it is good, then you can just go through everything once and read the basics, and you can make your own sentences and write. No need of memorizing everything. Okay, now we will little bit means it is not a type or something, it is a little bit different, but it is important, that is dual excretion. What happens, we till now we have discussed like there are organisms which excrete ammonia, and those are known as ammonotelic. There are organisms which excrete urea, those are known as ureotelic. There are organisms which excrete uric acid, known as uricotelic. But there are also organisms which show both type of excretion, two types of excretion. Okay, there are organisms which show two types of excretion. Those type of excretion, that type of excretion is known as dual excretion.
Dual excretion.
Dual means two. Dual means two.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So examples here it is there. You can just make a point like note and write this. Okay, just make a point and write this. I'll just explain a little bit how. So tadpole, it is the larval stage of frog, right? Tadpoles grow and becomes frog. Okay, tadpoles, they grow. Tadpoles, have you all seen tadpoles? It lives in the water, right? That
Yes, ma'am.
black,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
brown kind of thing. Yes. So tadpoles, no. So when they are small, they are known as tadpoles. But they grow, and when they become big, they are known as frogs. So when tadpoles, in the tadpole, when they are tadpoles, they show ammonotalism because they live in the water, right? But when they become big, they mature, they undergo metamorphosis, means they undergo their things, then they become a frog. Frog is an amphibian, and frog it shows ureotelism. Okay, Means in frog, urea is excreted, whereas in tadpoles, ammonia is excreted. Okay, excreted nitrogenous waste is in frog. In frog, it is urea, and in tadpole, it is ammonia. So this is the same. Actually, it is the same species, right? Tadpole and frog, it is the same. The example for say a kitten and a cat, right? A puppy and a dog. Puppy is this means small stage, this puppy, and the what becomes a dog. So like that. But here the resemblance is also kind of different. Butterfly pupa comes, then butterfly, like that. But then it is the same species. Anyway, it is the same species, tadpole and frog. So same species showing two different types of excretion, modes of excretion. Okay, and then second is the earthworms. So earthworms, it is little bit different for other earthworms, lungfish, and crocodiles. These three, it is a little bit different. For tadpole and frog, it is a little bit different because in the small stage it shows something, and when it becomes big, it shows something. But for other three, it shows in their entire life, means throughout their life. What happens? Earthworms, when they are present in the water, when their environment is water, when they are in an aquatic environment, or when they are in the water, earthworms. So earthworms show ammonitalism when they are in the water, and when they are in the means area where there is less water or no water, when they are in the like mud, or when they are in the soil, or when they are in the places where there is less water, they show ureotelism. Okay, when there is water, they show a monotony because they had plenty of water. They can lose plenty of water, but when they are in the places where there is less water, then they show urotelium. Okay, then there is lungfish, xenopus, that is African toad. For the same for them also, what happens? They're also condition dependent. Like when they are in the aquatic environment, lungfish and xenopus, they are generally aquatic. Okay, generally they are aquatic, and when they are in the aquatic environment, aquatic means in the water, as I already mentioned. So when they are in the aquatic environment, they show a monotelitism because they have plenty of water. But what happens? This lungfish and xenopus, they go for hibernation, like the snake. Do you know hibernation? What is hibernation? Do you know? Do you understand hibernation? Hibernation. Have you heard hibernation?
No, ma'am.
Why do you think you find snakes only in the only during summers and not during winters?
They go for a long sleep in the
Mhm.
winter
Mhm.
because they used to sleep in the winters.
Sleep. Sleepily question. Okay. That is hibernation. No, they go under the holes and they make holes and they go under the holes and they sleep for the entire winter. That's why generally we don't tend to see snakes during winter. But we see the snakes during summers. During winter also they are there, but they're under the holes and they really come out. Okay. Then there is one bird, seasonal birds. Seasonal birds are there. For example, let's take the example of the bird that is generally, not generally, it is seen during Bihu season. Kuli, right?
Mm.
Do you hear that sound of that kuli during any other season? Now can you hear the sound of that kuli? No. Only during
No,
Bihu.
ma'am.
Only during Bihu. Why? Because they are migratory birds. They come from the different parts, other parts, and they come to here during Bihu season. Okay, it's not like Bihu, therefore they are coming, but during the according to some climatic conditions and stuff like that. Okay, so they are migratory birds because they come from migratory birds, and hibernation is they go for sleep for like a period of time. So lungfish and xenopus, they are generally aquatic, but they also go for hibernation. Hibernation means they go inside the mud. Like snakes go inside the holes. So these lungfish xenopus, they go inside the mud. They stay in the mud for like a period of time. So during that hibernation period, since they live inside the mud, there is less water. Therefore, they show ureotelism. Okay, generally lungfish and xenopus, they will show ammonotalism. Ammonia is excreted, but when they go for hibernation, they show ureotelism. Okay. Next, there is crocodiles. Same for them. Crocodiles also. When they're in the water, they show ammonotalism. When you take out the crocodile from the water, take it outside and put it in the let it stay in the land for like longer period of time. It will stay alive. It will not die, but it will start showing ureotelism because it needs to preserve the already existing water. No, it cannot afford to lose all the water. Therefore, it will show ureotelism. So when crocodile is in the water, it will show ammonotalism. When it is brought out of the water, when it is kept in outside of water for a longer period of time, then it will show ureotelism. Okay, so these are the examples of dual excretion. And dual excretion means it shows two modes of excretion or two types of excretion. So, is there any doubts from this portion? Any doubts? If there are any doubts, you can just ask. Okay. Next, there is uricotelism, and this is we'll need one more class to complete this chapter. We need one more class. Is there any doubts?
Will be sharing the notes.
I will give the notes after I will complete the if after I complete the chapter I will give the notes. You have got the ebook, I guess. I have already sent the ebook in the
Yes, ma'am.
group. Yes, I will give the notes. I'll give the notes. Don't worry. But
Okay.
for your betterment only, you just copy whatever, or you can take screenshots of um, this thing.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
because there are some minute details which might not be included in the notes. Minute details that might not be included in this, but means whatever that is present in this presentation and whatever that is present in this presentation and it is not present in the notes, remember that question or that particular thing will not come for long questions, that will only come for 1 mark MCQs or stuff like that. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
whatever that is included here and not included in the notes. Okay, from the notes
Yes.
you can expect long questions and everything. From this presentation you can expect only uh, MCQs. So just note it down because some things, for example, this dual excretion. Dual excretion it is not included in the notes that I will give because it will come for like 1 mark questions, definition of dual excretion or example of dual excretion. It is already written here. That's why I'm not including it again in the notes. But ammonotalism, the definitions, the whole process, everything is included in the notes. So likewise, means 1 mark questions, simple things, all that are not included in the notes. So that will come for like 1 mark question MCQs and whatever I speak, whatever I say, that is also important. That might be included in like 1 mark questions MCQs and all. Okay. Okay, what about your class? Who took your class? Nokseng ma'am. What took? Morning from 9:20. Yes, from 9:20. What class did you have?
Anatomy.
Anatomy.
Anatomy. Okay, vanilla. Okay, Katha. Up to what time did you have your class? When did it end?
Vanilla, ma'am.
কেতিয়া শেষ হ'ল?
Uh,
কেইটা বজাত?
10.
10. Okay, 10. It ended at 10. Okay, fine. You'll take 5
10-7.
minutes.
7. I'm 10-7.
10:07. Okay, you will
Yes,
skip
ma'am.
like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But why are people trying to enter the class even now? Generally, I told I will give like 5-10 minutes. Today I gave 20 minutes to enter. Okay. Like after 10:20, I kept this one open so that you had class. That's why. But till now, people are staying in the waiting lobby, Medini Pegu and stuff. Okay, and one again, I'm saying that I will not provide the link again and again. Okay, and I will not remind you, keep reminding you. But today was the first, and I didn't know. Okay, it's fine that you had class. Okay, no worries. But whenever you and one thing you can do, if you have class for like for example, if you like if your class ends like 10:10, and if I won't message from 12 now. So if I keep waiting, I won't be waiting. No, I will leave the meeting, and you just can, if you don't find me again joining, then you can notify me. You can tell me that you had classes late, and you are now ready to attend class. Okay, sometimes your previous classes taken for long. Okay. Okay. So, but just go through this portion at home, and let me know if there are any doubts, or you can ask in the next class. Next class, we'll complete this chapter, and then I'll give the notes. So don't worry about the notes. If you want to gather extra knowledge, you can go through the book.